Yay! Here we are. Probate workshop. Here it is. Hello, welcome. This is Courtney Rollins here for your free workshop. We're doing this every Wednesday, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's the Life and Transitions Experts podcast channel on YouTube and posting it on our Facebook group, Life and Transitions Expert Podcast. As I said, I'm Courtney, and what I do is I help families that are going through the probate process. I help them navigate it smoothly and efficiently. I am not an attorney and I'm not a financial advisor. The whole reason I consider myself a specialist and an expert is because I am dedicated to the process, dedicated to learning as much as I can so that I can translate that experience and knowledge to you and hopefully help you overcome this challenging part of, I'm assuming, of your life in probate. People ask sometimes, well, Courtney, how do you get paid if you're not charging for your services? Quite often in probate cases, in many estates, there is property involved. And when there's property involved, and if I'm able to provide a solution that fits the needs of that person, that client, or that estate, then quite often there's ways I make money through my transactions, whether I'm buying the property myself or putting it online or helping you even monetize it and turn it into a rental. There are definitely ways that I'm able to keep the lights on. And my whole thing is the go-giver mentality. The more I give, the more I receive. So if I want to be a millionaire, I got to give $1 million worth of value. But it's really not about me. This is about you all. And so today we're looking at inherited properties and what happens with some of the properties and why some folks may even decide to sell a property that is inherited. You know, this is the American dream to have real estate. Why would someone even consider selling a property? And if anyone actually has had the responsibility of owning property, then you may actually have more answers to this than folks who maybe haven't. So I want to present here. So let me share my screen, as we say. Oh, right. Share screen over here. I think I clicked present. Share screen. And here we go. Yeah, so let's come over to the presentation, to the slides. So what do I do with the house in probate? Just a reminder, folks, this is the workshop. Probate is, again, the legal process for settling the affairs of a deceased person, depending on the size of how much assets, how much property was left in that person's name when they passed away. And depending on the size of that, depends on whether or not this is going to be a probate. Depending on if they had other legal remedies or structures in place to help them avoid probate, also determines if there's probate open. But by and large, almost across the nation, if someone passes away with debt in their name and assets in their name, there has to be a way to administrate and deal with those. And that quite often is the probate process. And it can be very long, it can be very expensive, and it's very public. So those are really three reasons why I would encourage folks to do things beforehand to avoid the probate process. But if you're involved in it, know that you can get it done. There's people out here like me and other folks who can help you get this done. Probate, you do not have to have an attorney in almost every state. It is highly recommended, but you don't have to have an attorney. You are able to do this. So we definitely still want to show you the steps so that you can, make an informed decision. And you're going to be responsible for opening up the actual probate and applying for it, actually notifying the creditors through the notice to creditors is what it's called, taking an inventory of all the assets, doing an accounting of all the debt and everything that's being paid and settled, and all settle those. You'll have to file taxes for the estate for each year that it's remaining open. Distribute any inheritance once all the filing and accounting has taken place, and finally be discharged from your responsibilities by closing the estate and the affairs of that person who passed away. And so I already went through all that right there. So these are things you're going to do: make an inventory, find and organize all the estate's assets and debts. Right. Again, you'll be the personal representative, or someone will be. Personal representative is going to be appointed technically by the court. But if there's a will, quite often the will determine who the executor or executors are. There could be more than one. If there isn't a will, then an administrator will be assigned, and there could be more than one as well of administrators. You would have to send out notices, as we said. Be careful, because as you send out notices, know that not every debt has same priority. And please know that you can negotiate these debts. Closed mouths don't get fed, and quite often the folks who are involved who have debt coming off their estate will settle for less, and sometimes even write it all off. It doesn't hurt to ask. And so it's your job to really administrate and attend to these. It is a fiduciary responsibility, which means you're held liable criminally and if you are derelict of your duties. So definitely take it seriously. Again, as we said, you're going to address all the debts, file the taxes, make distributions, and then you finish up. You're almost at the finish line. Now, if you need help or support, this is a concierge service that we provide here at Estate Pro Service. And so helping you find the right family attorney, or maybe some financial advice, or perhaps they're surviving family members who need support downsizing or moving into a new space. We can do all those. We pretty much help with the property and the stuff. That's our jam. And we try to take a really approach where we're listening with our ears and coming out to help putting our heads together and getting to work with our hands. And that's what is required. Listening, instead of me coming to you or someone on my team telling you what you need to do, we need to listen and figure out what your issue is, what do you want to get done, and then provide some options and then take action. Again, we've said that helping with family transitions and downsizing is very important. I'm actually a senior transition specialist. Shout out to the Mom's House and Ben and Phil and all those awesome folks over there. It's really helped me have some skills and tools to help folks find the right type of community for them. Again, we're professional home buyers, so selling house fast and quickly is our Jimmy Jam, is what we do. Perhaps you might need to empty out the house. That's what we do as well. In fact, I'm working with a client now where he needs the funds to be able to move into this new community. I was able to help him find a new place through a placement agency. And since that's not my area of expertise, I connected him to one of my members of my network. He's found a new place, but he needs the funds to be able to pay down payments and also needs help moving out. And so we've set it up with have his property under contract. I was able to find another buyer, and I assigned the rights to that buyer contract to that buyer with the stipulation that he'll be able to, once it's closed, get the funds released and have 2 weeks to move out. He'll use those funds to obviously move. And in fact, I'm actually the one coordinating that, so it won't be an issue for him. And there's funds held back. I think about $5,000 will be held back in escrow to protect the buyer, so that during that 2 weeks, if he wants to receive the rest of his funds, he'll have to move out at the end of 2 weeks to receive the rest of the funds. But the whole thing is wrapped around what does the seller need? What does the person need to be able to get done what needs to get done? You may decide to sell it for top dollar, and we have opportunities to be able to do that for you as well. And of course, the most important thing is helping you preserve some of the wealth. Hopefully you're receiving some inheritance back, and you'll be able to talk to someone about how you can set up steps to protect even more of your wealth so that it won't be eaten up by the probate process. So check us out at Estate Pro Service, 919-341-1992, or go to estateproservice.com. You can check out our YouTube channel, Life and Transitions Experts, where Estate Pro Service hosts, and we'd love to work with you. And again, this is a weekly podcast. Well, it's a podcast I put out every Monday, so we'll check it out every 5 days a week. Let me slow down. I am putting out podcasts and related to probate, senior transition, trying to answer as many questions that I hear. The way I continue to dig into it's basically I study, how I learn, so check those out. But we have a weekly Wednesday probate workshop podcast where I'm encouraging folks who have questions specifically in Durham, North Carolina, to come to the Wednesday to ask questions and get those things answered. But if you have other thoughts or questions, I really encourage you to check out the YouTube channel. All right. Other than that, you guys, life and transition experts, let your light shine. Cheers.